Welcome to Philology Maths, fighting problems one step at a time.
Hello and welcome to Philology Maths. Today we're having a lesson on factorising quadratics. Let's take a look at an example. So in this first example we've got x squared plus 3x plus 2 and we want to factorise that. Now remember, factorising means putting into brackets, and when we have a quadratic with 3 terms like this one does, we're actually going to need 2 pairs of brackets to factorise it. So what's going to happen is everything in this first pair of brackets is going to multiply by everything in the second pair of brackets to give this quadratic here. So if we look at this first term, x squared, well, x squared is x times x, so if we put an x in each of the 2 brackets, then they will multiply together to get x squared. So this is how we're going to always start with examples like this. Now, how do we finish these brackets off? Well, what we need is we need 2 numbers that multiply together to give 2. And those same 2 numbers need to add together to give 3. So let's start by just thinking of the numbers that multiply together to give 2. Well, this example is nice and easy because the only 2 numbers are just 1 and 2. So we notice that 1 times 2 is 2, and then 1 plus 2 is 3. So we're going to use these 2 numbers now to finish off our factorisation. So here we're going to put x plus 1, and then here we're going to put x plus 2. And that completes our factorisation. So we've got x plus 1 multiplied by x plus 2. In this second example, we've got x squared plus 2x minus 3. Now, just like before, to factorise this, we'll actually need 2 pairs of brackets. And again, like before, because we've got an x squared here, if we put an x in each of the 2 pairs of brackets, then these will multiply together to get the x squared that we need. So that's how we're going to start here. Now to continue, we need 2 numbers that multiply together to give minus 3. And those same 2 numbers need to add together to give plus 2. So let's start by thinking of numbers that multiply together to give minus 3. Well, if 2 numbers multiply to give a negative number, then one of those numbers has got to be positive and the other has got to be negative. So we've got plus 1 multiplied by minus 3, which equals minus 3. But we've also got minus 1 multiplied by plus 3 is actually equal to minus 3. So now to finish this off, we need to think about which of these 2 pairs adds together to give 2. And that's the second pair of numbers, minus 1 and plus 3. So to finish the factorisation, we're going to go ahead and write these numbers in each of the 2 pairs of brackets. So we're going to have x minus 1, and then we're going to have x plus 3. So now we finish this factorisation and we've got x minus 1 multiplied by x plus 3. In this final example, we've got x squared minus 5x plus 6. We're going to start in the same way by writing down the 2 pairs of brackets that we will need to factorise this. Now again, we're going to write the x's in here so that they multiply together to give x squared. Okay, to continue with this, we're going to need 2 numbers that multiply together to give plus 6, and then the same 2 numbers need to add together to give minus 5. Let's start by thinking about numbers that multiply to give plus 6. Now remember, these same 2 numbers that multiply to give plus 6 also need to add to give minus 5. Well, if we've got 2 numbers that multiply to give a positive number, they've either got to be both positive, but they could also be both negative. And because they need to add to give a negative, we're going to have to take into account those negative number cases when writing this list here. Okay, so the first pair of numbers that multiply to plus 6 is plus 1 and plus 6. But we've also got minus 1 multiplied by minus 6, because 2 negatives make a positive. We've also got plus 2 and plus 3, and we've got minus 2 and minus 3. Now, which one of these 4 pairs of numbers adds to give minus 5? Well, we can see that's the final pair of numbers, because minus 2 plus minus 3 is minus 5. So to finish the factorisation off here, we're going to use these 2 numbers. So we're going to have x minus 2, and we're going to have x minus 3. And that completes the factorisation as x minus 2 multiplied by x minus 3. Thanks for watching. This has been a short lesson on factorising quadratics. See you next time. Have you suffered from a maths-related injury in the last 4 months?
You're in the right channel. Welcome to Philosophy Maths.
Thanks for watching. This has been a short lesson on factorising quadratics. See you next time. Ah, where's that arm? It's there. This has been a short lesson on factorising quadratics. Factorising quadratics. Factorising quadratics. Factorising quadratics. See you next time. See you next time. Thanks for watching. This has been a short lesson on factorising quadratics. That was so good.